Okay, guys, welcome back to another week and another intensity level. Aren't we so excited? This week, or at least in today's class, we're going to be doing a lot of new stuff that we haven't done this session before. We're primarily focusing in today's workout is a lot of inner thigh, a lot of glutes, and a lot of back. We'll do that core section at the very end, so we can always expect some core in our class. But with that being said, everybody at home, hold the applause. I know we don't necessarily need blocks today. I have some just in case because I want to be prepared in case there was something I missed, but I don't necessarily think you'll need blocks at all. A lot of today's class will be on the ground. I would suggest having a pad or a pillow, something to protect your hips or your knees, because we will be on our hip quite a bit while we're doing that inner thigh stuff. That being said, please take modifications when you need. Take your breaks, push back in a child's pose, push back into a forward fold. Take those breaks. There should not be any pain or discomfort at any point in today's class. It's big on muscle focus, like we usually do on Tuesdays, so making sure that we're incorporating that intentionality, that activation as we're using specific muscle groups, paying attention to what muscles we're using, and trying to be mindful. Don't escape into that little pain cave that you get whenever a muscle starts getting sore. Make sure it's still staying activated, and we're using that. We want to have that quality over that quantity, so that being said, I'll stop rambling and we can go ahead and get started with today's class. We're going to be starting on our knees. Feel free to push back into a seated position if going on your knees does hurt you in any way, shape, or form. But on our knees, we're just going to take our hands and interlace them in front of us. Find that stretch through those shoulders. Feel free to roll out your neck. Taking those deep breaths in, curling our stomach forward, activating through the core, stretching down. Feeling this in your upper spine, upper back, through your shoulders. Squeeze your core. Deep breath. Exhale, coming all the way up, lengthening through your stomach, reaching your hands above your head. Find those side stretches. Pushing through your palms as best you can, finding that length. Remembering to breathe. Deep breath. When you're ready, we're going to lower our hands down to our sides, staying active through those shoulders, lifted in the shoulder blades, still pushing them away from your ear, twisting through your core, and coming back to center. You should feel your core squeezing here. Still staying lifted through your shoulders. Coming back to that first side, trying to open up, find more mobility, deepening that stretch. Remembering to breathe. Go ahead and do this one more time, really trying to expand in that upper body, deepening that twist. Coming back to center, give yourself some little arm circles. Feeling some heat generated in those shoulders, in that back. Getting a little bit of activation going here. Remembering to breathe and circling the other way. Now that your shoulders are burning a little bit here, go ahead and find stillness. Tilt your palms up to the ceiling. Go ahead and grab on, clawing those shoulders. Doing some bigger circles. Focusing on that mobility, still keeping your shoulders away from your ears. A little bit of a burn. Generating that heat, circling the other direction now. Trying to stay lifted through your chest, engaged through your stomach. Your core should be working here too. Let's try to do 2 more, really expanding, widening that circle. Last one, we're going to find stillness with our elbows pointed up to the sides, but we're going to bend our elbows to 90, bring them forward, and extend them back out again. Bring them forward, extend them back out. When your hands meet, it should almost feel like 2 of the same sides of a magnet are meeting. So they're pushing each other away, but you're trying to push them together. I don't know if anybody else did that as a kid. Might have just been me, but you should feel a squeeze through your shoulders as you reach forward and as you reach back. 2 different spots of your shoulders. Doing this one more time, go ahead and take your left arm, hook it over top of your right. Find that twist. Push those elbows as far up as you can. Still trying to keep your fingertips open to the ceiling. You don't want to push them down or back. Trying to rise so you feel that stretch in your shoulders. And then deep breath in. Trying to find a bit more height. And exhale, lowering back down, coming into those 90s once again. Really squeezing through your shoulders here. Pinching a pencil between your scapula and finding the same side of a magnet. For 2 more. Last one, your right arm is coming over your left now. You're going to hook your fingers and lift up. Looking for that stretch. You might try to shimmy and find it wherever it is for you. Holding there, breathing through it until you feel that release. Trying to find a little bit more height through those elbows, lifting your arms up. On your next breath in, you're going to lower down, slowly walking your hands forward, finding that child's pose, knees wide on the mat, pushing yourself back and letting your chest sink further into the floor. Taking this time to bring awareness to your breath, all 4 corners of your body. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, feeling your forearms pressed into the mat and the length of your spine as you walk your fingers just a little bit forward. You might try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. If you're looking for a little bit more mobility through this stretch, try rocking your hips side to side. One more deep breath in, feeling the friction in the back of your throat, expansion through your belly. And using that exhale, pushing yourself all the way up, finding that tabletop position, shoulders stacked over the heels of your palms, slight bend in your elbow so you're not putting that pressure in your wrist, hips over knees, straight line in your back. Taking a deep breath in, focusing on that breathing. We're opening chest to sky for those cat-cows. Exhale, squeezing your stomach, curling your spine, lifting through your navel, pushing through the heels of your palm. Deep breath in, chest to ceiling. Holding at the top. Exhale, squeezing your stomach, bringing ribs to pelvis. You feel like there's a string attached to your belly button and you're being lifted up. Deep breath, chest to ceiling. Exhale, curling that stomach. This time, we're just going to straighten out our back, finding a nice neutral tabletop position. And when you're ready, we're going to extend our left foot back and our right arm forward, finding that bird dog position. Straight line tips of your finger, top of your head, hips to toes, squeezing through your stomach. We're just going to lower down and lift. We're not going to do that crunch here. Lowering down and lifting, making sure we're paying attention to how our core feels as we're engaging it here, how our back feels as we try to lift our arm, and how the glute feels as it lifts your leg. Focusing on a lot of things here, balance, stability, and muscle activation, slow and in control, until you can feel all of the components working together here to lift arm and leg. For 2 more. Last one, we're going to stay lifted, and we're going to do 6 pulses at the top for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Still staying lifted. We're going to reach our right arm back, bend our left foot, and reach back forward, extending that leg. Should really be feeling it in the core here. At least I am. Remembering to keep that breathing going. Make your breath work for you. For 2 more. Pushing through that glute. Last one, we're just reaching back for that foot. You don't have to grab it, just reach. Exhale, go ahead and lower that leg. Lift up with your right arm and send it through. Thread the needle. Feeling a stretch through that shoulder. Feel free to roll out your wrist here if that feels good to you. Finding that length and deepening that stretch. Feel free to walk your fingertips a little bit further if you're starting to get too comfortable here. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, pushing all the way back up. This time we're posted through our right hand. We're going to send our right leg back and our left hand forward. Still straight line, activating through that core. Lowering down and lifting up. Brace through the core, lift through the glute, and engage that shoulder and your back. Looking for that straight line. Paying attention to how your muscles feel here. Making sure you feel that activation. If you can't, maybe you try going a little bit slower. For 2 more. Really squeezing at the top. Same pace down, same pace up. Last one, staying lifted the whole way through for 6 little pulses. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Staying lifted through that leg. bend that knee. We're reaching our left arm back. Coming forward. So making sure you feel all those muscles. You're staying lifted through the core. Two more. Last one. We're lowering that leg back down, reaching up through the left arm and threading that needle. Trying to walk your fingertips a little bit further once you're comfortable in that stretch. Still breathing here. One more deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and push back into that child's pose. We're just going to walk our hands to the left. Trying to walk your fingertips as far as you can within your comfort level. Finding a stretch through your right side body, all the way into that shoulder, down to your hip, maybe up into your wrists and your fingertips. One more deep breath in. Exhale, walking back to center and moving towards your right. Feeling this in your left side body now, through that shoulder into your hip, down to your fingertips. Breathing through it. Try walking your fingertips a little bit further. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're walking back to center, coming all the way into that tabletop position, reorienting ourselves, shoulders stacked over heel of palm, hips stacked over knees, curl your toes underneath of you, and push yourself back, finding that downward dog, pedaling out your feet, waking up the backs of your legs. Still taking those breaths. And on your next exhale, go ahead and walk your feet to your hands, forward fold. Letting your spine extend, find length through your fingertips. And then that exhale, roll your spine vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way into standing. Reach through your palms, through your hands. Find height for one quick side bend, taking a deep breath in, sending yourself forward, hips back, forward fold. Gonna go ahead and increase the speed of the flow, rolling your spine up vertebra by vertebra. Reach through those hands, quick side bend, deep breath, and diving forward, forward fold. We're going to do this one more time. Find that length, roll your spine, vertebra by vertebra, reach, finding a little bit more height here, and diving forward. Feel that roll in your spine. Look for that length. Let your arms settle. One more deep breath in. We're going to bend our left knee, reach up through our right arm. Length through fingertips, extending through that chest, opening up to the right wall. Lowering back down, bend that right knee, lift that left arm. Increasing the speed here, getting a little bit more mobility. Back to center, bend that left knee, lift that right arm. Really reach here. Lowering back, lifting left arm. One more time on each side, go ahead and lift your right. See if you can expand just a little bit further than the first time. Lower back down, lifting left arm. finding a little bit more of a reach, lowering back to center. One more deep breath in. This time I want you to engage through your glute. Find a slight bend in those knees, keeping your back straight, half lift. We're going to hold here, so make sure your glute is staying engaged. Make sure you're squeezing through your quads. And we're going to wide lift with our arms, squeezing your scapula together, pinching that pencil, lowering back down, but staying in that half lift, widening those arms back again. Feeling that activation in your back, you might need to hold or readjust. Just make sure that you're feeling your scapula squeeze together and that muscle activation. Keep lifting and lowering, using your breath, making it work for you, squeezing those glutes. Full body activation. For 2 more. Last one, lifting in Y. Lower, coming all the way back up to standing. Feel free to stretch out those hips. Go ahead and walk your feet to the outside of your mat. Deep breath in. From here, we're going to lower all the way down, finding that squat. Knees are still stacked over your ankles, engaging your glute, engaging your quads, lifting through your fingertips, and coming all the way back up to standing. Lowering down, squeeze through the glutes, back up to standing. We're going to do 8 of these, making sure we're really feeling that activation, quality, not quantity. Even though I just said 8, if you can't get there, that's okay. Make sure you're feeling both glutes and both quads pushing up through the ground. Try not to hollow out your lower back, squeeze through the core. Deep breaths. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come up. For 1 more, coming back up. We're gonna lower all the way down, but we're gonna do 6 little pulses here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring our hands to prayer. We're all the way back up into that squat. Feel free to take those side bends. Stretch out those hips. We're gonna lower down 1 more time, full squat. Coming back up, mountain pose. Hands to prayer, lowering down, full squat, squeezing our toes into the floor, keeping even pressure through your feet. Try not to move your knees. Full leg activation here. For 1 more, coming all the way back up. Bring our hands back down to prayer. We're going to hold here. We're going to alternate heel lifts, feeling that activation in that calf. Breathing here, acknowledging the slight burn in your legs, taking breaks as needed. Remembering to breathe. For 2 more. Last one. Coming all the way back up, reach. Feel free to take those side bends. Exhale, we're diving all the way forward. Deep breath in, step back with both feet. Find that high plank, shoulders stacked over heels of palms, slight bend in those elbows, lowering all the way down to your knees, letting your shins rest on the floor. Slowly lowering, keeping elbows close to your sides, letting your stomach gently rest on the floor. Deep breath in. Pushing up, baby cobra. Extending through that back. Feel free to look over each shoulder. That deeper stretch. Lowering all the way down, reaching our hands in front of us and squeezing them back, squeezing through your glutes, trying to lift your feet off the ground, straight into those swimmers. Try to feel your back squeeze as you pull your elbows towards your sides. You can even add that little kicking motion. For 2 more. Last one. This time we're going to extend our hands all the way behind us, but we're going to pulse, trying to put our pinkies together behind our backs. Squeezing through your core and your back. Deep breaths in. Last one. Lowering all the way down. Kick that left foot up. Go ahead and grab your foot. Find that stretch in your quad. So you slowly bring the heel of your foot closer to your glute. Pressing the top of your foot into your hand. Go ahead and let go of that foot. Reach back with your right arm. And grab that foot. Pushing the top of your foot into your hand. Find that quad stretch. If you can, try to lift that left foot up as well, reaching back for both feet. If you'd like to increase the intensity, pushing your feet into your hands, may all the way up, finding that boat pose. Deep breath. Exhale, lowering all the way back down. Hands under your shoulders. Take a minute to breathe here. Follow that muscle activation. Take that full brain scan. What's sore, what's not sore. One more deep breath in. Exhale, push up, finding that tabletop position. This time we're going to slightly lean forward, making sure our hips are straight at an angle with our shoulders, keeping our elbows tight to our sides. We're going to do a knee push-up, activating through those triceps, and a little bit of a burn in your back. Remembering to breathe, push through the chest, push through your triceps, squeeze that core. For 2 more. Last one, pushing all the way up, extending out either leg. Feel that activation in your glute, the stretch in your hip. Breathe. For 2 more, squeezing through the core. Last one. Coming all the way back into that tabletop position, starting with our left leg, keeping that knee bent. We're lifting to the side, fire hydrant, and kicking back, donkey kick. Feel the activation in the glute. Get the mobility through the hips. Squeeze the core, push through the triceps. Use that breath. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Operating at the same pace, lifting up and lowering down. Two more. This time you're going to kick back, but we're going to pulse for 6, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lowering back down, back into that sequence of donkey kick to fire hydrant. Squeeze the core. Feel the burn in the glute, generating that heat. 2 more. This time you're going to lift to the side, and we're going to do 6 pulses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, coming all the way back down, tabletop position. But we're going to shift onto our hip, lift that right arm over, and find that stretch, giving yourself a break. This is where we get to the fun stuff. When you're ready, we're going to lower all the way down onto our side, staying propped through our forearm. If you have a pillow or a pad, this is where I would recommend putting it under your hip. If you are sensitive in any way, shape, or form, protect your hip bone. But from here, taking a deep breath in, we're just going to bring the tips of our toes together, bringing our knees together and lifting like a clamshell. Working that inner thigh, meeting both knees in the middle. Deep breaths in. For 2 more. This time, as you lower that right knee back down to the ground, you're going to fully extend your left leg, bring your toes back together, and clamshell. Just adding a new step here. Extending that leg, feel that quad stretch, that hip engage. Remembering to breathe. For 2 more. Last one. This time we're going to keep that leg extended, but we're going to tap forward and lift back up. Tap forward and lift, feeling the outside of your left glute start to work a little bit more. Deep breaths. 1 more. Go ahead and bend that foot again, but we're going to bend it in front, extend that bottom leg out, and we're just going to lift that bottom leg up. Working the inside of your right thigh now. Remembering to breathe. Lifting 1 more time. Try circling. At the very top, circle that bottom leg. This next movement sounds a little strange, but I like to call it a double lift. We're going to lift that bottom leg, but we're going to try to lift it a little bit more at the very top. Doing a double lift. For 2 more. Feel that inner thigh engage. Now we're just going to pulse at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lower all the way back down. Bring our feet together, fully together here. Deep breath in and lift that top leg. Meet those toes in the middle and lift that top leg, working our outer glute from the left thigh. Squeeze through that core. The only thing that should be moving is your leg. Deep breaths. For 2 more. Last one, little pulses at the top for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and bend it forward in front of that right thigh again. Push yourself up and twist. Find that stretch. Deep breath. Stretching through the left glute, left hip. One more deep breath in, lowering back down, coming all the way, finding that tabletop position. We're going to do the same thing for the right side now. I know you guys are excited. I thought that was fun. Okay, bending that right knee, we're going to kick back, and we're going to kick into that hydrant, engaging the glute, squeezing the core, flat back. Remembering to breathe. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Try counting to 3. Should take you 3 seconds to lift and 3 seconds to lower. Squeezing your glute at the top. For 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and kick back and do 6 little pulses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lowering back down, coming back, hydrant to donkey kick. Getting that hip mobility, getting that glute activation. One more time. This time we're going to extend to the side, lift for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lowering all the way back down, coming to the side, lifting that left arm overhead. Look for that stretch. Give your hip a break. Remembering to breathe. Length through those fingertips. Exhale, coming all the way back down, finding that forearm. Bring ourselves into that clamshell position, lifting them together and opening back up. Two more. We're going to add that extension coming up at the top, straighten that leg out, lower back down. Clamshell, extend, lower. See if you can feel that activation through your quad. Stay lifted through your obliques. Work that inner thigh. This time we're going to extend, but we're going to tap forward and lift. Tap forward and lift. Staying lifted through those glutes, engage those hips. Deep breath. This time we're going to bend our right foot over top, straighten out your left leg. And we're just going to lift. Get that inner thigh activation. This time as you lift, try to circle at the top. Little circles with that left leg. When you're ready, going into that double lift. So lift, and then push a little bit further at the top. Lift, push a little bit further. Feel that inner thigh activation. For 2 more. Last one, pulsing at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lowering that leg all the way down. Bringing both feet on top of each other. Now we're just going to lift that right leg and meet our toes in the middle. Try lifting your left foot off the ground as well to meet your right foot Activating both legs, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core. Lifting both feet. Squeeze the glutes. Two more. Last one, pulsing at the top for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and bend that leg again, lowering all the way down. Push yourself up. Wrap your left arm over your right leg. Find that twist. One more deep breath in. When you're ready, we're going to scoot into that boat pose. This is going to be everybody's favorite. Anywho, coming into that boat pose, lifting your feet off the ground if you can. If not, feel free to just tap those toes. We're holding here, lifting up, circling our arms around, lowering, lift, circle. Squeeze the core. Feel the activation before we add on to it. Deep breaths, lifting through the belly. One more. This time we're just going to lift with our right arm. Lowering down. Deep breaths. Squeeze the core. Switching to the left side. Remembering to breathe. Two more. Last one. And pulse forward for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way down to your back. Making sure there's no space between your lower back and the mat. Tilting your pelvic floor up and in. Push through the heels of your feet. Squeeze your glutes and slowly lift up. Finding that glute bridge. Lowering down. Squeeze the glutes and lift. Making sure you're lifting and lowering at the same speed. And you feel glute activation the entire time. For 2 more. Last one, staying lifted, but this time you're going to lift your left leg off the ground. Squeeze that glute bridge up and lower that leg. Lift, squeeze, lower. For 2 more. Last one, staying lifted, foot straight in the air, reaching your arms up, and pulse for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way back down. Deep breath. Exhale. This time you're going to rotate onto your toes, still trying to close that space from your lower back and the ground. But you're in a glute bridge, lifting up through your toes and open your knees. Lowering back down. Squeeze through your core. Use your glutes. Lift yourself up. Open the knees. Lower back down. Use your muscles. Feel them engage. Deep breath for 1 more. And lowering all the way back down. Lower back still in contact with the mat. Reverse tabletop, bending both knees, bringing them up. Lifting both arms up. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Lower to the ground. Squeeze the core, lift them up. Alternating. Squeeze the core and lift, squeeze the core and lower. Same speed up, same speed down. For 2 more. Last one. Extending arm overhead, stretching those feet out and bringing them back up. Meeting palms to knees, extending out and lifting back up. Squeeze the core. Use your breath for 2 more. Last one. Lowering your feet down to the ground, heels behind your glutes. Feel free to rock side to side. Stretch out your stomach just a little bit for 1 deep breath in. And then we're back into it. Tilting the pelvic floor up and in, lifting, squeezing through the glutes. Lifting your right leg up. Pulse up and lower. Single leg glute bridge. For 2 more. Last one, keeping that foot lifted, and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way down. Go ahead and give your knees a hug. Good job. Deep breath in. Lowering our feet back down to the mat. Go ahead and lift that left leg, hook it over your right. Feel free to stay here, or go ahead and grab the back of your thigh or your shin. Option to rock side to side if that feels comfortable. And when you're ready, try planting the bottom of that foot into the floor, extending both hands to either side of your body. Trying to keep both shoulders planted on the ground. Another deep breath in, coming back to center. Unhook your left leg from your right. Lift your right, hook it over your left, grabbing onto that leg. Option to rock side to side. Another deep breath in, sending those hands to either side of your body, planting the bottom of your foot onto the ground. Both shoulders planted on the mat. And you stretch through those hips. One last deep breath in. Coming up, finding center. Soles of your feet together. One hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach as we meet here for our last few breaths of class today. Taking this time to bring awareness to all 4 corners of your body. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel the back of your head pressed into the mat. Slowly allowing yourself to sink further and further into the floor. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. You might try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. Doing a full brain scan. What's sore? What's not sore? Is there tension? Is there stress? Is there relaxation? Is there comfort? Allowing yourself to feel One more deep breath in. That's going to bring us to the end of today's class. Feel free and stay and stretch. I know we went a little bit over, but I wanted to do core. So other than that, thank you all so much for coming. And I look forward to seeing you all again for a stretch day on Thursday.